Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. How is everyone doing? Hey, Davey, is that really Tesla Force in disguise? Let's see. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers and subscribers, please like these videos and leave some comments. So, let's get into a quick. We were last hour. We did had Bob Iacchino on, so I didn't get to update the levels. I'm going to go through that really quick. We'll take a look at a couple stocks, especially a couple things that I am watching. Name change due to Google algo, but the picture did not change, so I knew it was you. See, so uh, let's get through our little levels right now. Again, I'm expecting options expiration tomorrow. Generally choppier, and we're roughly at that positive negative gamma flip area. So keep that in mind and see we're right in this area, give or take a little bit. And it will get updated again tonight with the latest information. I'll put that out tomorrow morning. But you don't have a lot of gamma juice, and if it goes positive, if we do rally a bit, that's a dampening effect. Why? Because hedging is required to sell into a rally and buy into a dip, so that even makes it more little whippy sawed. Again, just not much tomorrow, but we got some Fed speaking and the C confidence board leading index. So the Fed speakers could have some, but the major thing is going to be option expiration. Let's see, options 22. Can you do the Qs? You gave targets 344 to 348, but gain retracements is 349 or top of candle wick at 380. Guidance, please. I will take a look at them in a second, okay? Just give me a second. I'm just updating. We got up all the way pretty much that 4,400 area at this point with this pausing bar going in. Again, we'll have to see because options expiration. So it'll be interesting to see if we rally in Europe or pull back. My major support level right now is coming in about 43.63, right in here. 43.63, 43.64. If we did drop below that, I'm going back to about 43.29. And then below that, I would be at about 42.93 to 4,300. To the upside, if we do rally into Asia and Europe, or pull back in Asia and rally into Europe, 44.41, and then I'm really focused on about 44.65. Why 44.65? It's a 75% harmonic, and it's the flat 200. So if we did have another strong rally tomorrow, that would be my full intraday target. And that's where we sit, both the upside and downside. Let me get through to NASDAQ, and then we'll look at some stuff with the Qs. NASDAQ, I had my short-term things on there for some intraday, but my major level was this 14,097, so 14,100, just poking above there. At the end of the day, where am I sitting now? We're going to take a look. Again, I'm expecting choppier price action, but I really have to assess. That's what we'll have to do a morning market preview tomorrow morning because we have to really digest what happened overnight. Major supports back at 14,000. If we did drop below 14,000, I'd be at about 13,852 to about 13,834, and below there I'm sitting at 13,675. The upside 14,281, and then my major key level would be about 14,374. Let me jump over to the Qs. Then Qs, again, we're watching this because of this double, but we have 344, 348, and then it would be the lowest probability target would be 352. If we're looking at retracement levels, let's see, you gave targets 344 to 348, but GAN retracement says 349. From which level? So if you're doing retracements, and again, I'm using those targets because of the doubles. So yes, your next, but this would be a minor level at this point. This 340, 349. Where are you getting that? Which retracements are you using? because these would be the most recent retracements from this range. You'd be doing it from this key high to low. And the 87.5, let me delete some of these other levels just real quick so we can see them. The 87.5 would be about 346. And remember, closing above the 62.5 favors a continued move higher. So the real targets I would watch for, we're already at that 345 tomorrow. I'd be focusing on this 348 level. That's the strongest targets I have to the upside. And if you look at the harmonics also from the lows to the end of the day, see you're at 347.85 to 348. And then you have this major swing high from the third, but above that would be if we got through that, then minor target would be 351, major would be 352.82. Those would be all the targets I'd use for pullbacks. For pullback levels, I'm focused right here, this 340, 341 area, especially about 341. Why? 1 hour rising rotation zone. So if we pulled back or had a gap down, because again, you're not going to have the overnight trading, that'd be my first level I'd want to see. And the major support level for me is coming in about 337 to 336.50 to 337.50, right in here with the rising rotation zone. That's what I'd focus on with any major pullback areas tomorrow. First things, unless we had some really strange event or a massive gap down, but I would have to look at that in the morning. So those are the levels I'd use in the Qs. Dow finished the double targets. You see running up through, you see that nice pause at the first target, the second target, and then finally a brief pause until they finally pop over it and actually coming up to the harmonic level. So all that is done. All that's done. I'm just going to leave these other targets up here for the Dow. Next major target is about 34,620 area. Dow. Major area I'd watch on a pullback is about 34,030, right in there. Let's see, 34. Then 34,000 to 34,030 is my pullback area on the Dow. And again, the next target is 34,637. I'm going to skip a couple of these. We'll have to do some gold and crude tomorrow. Crude, I'll just touch on this in case somebody didn't catch the next one. Again, moving up with that 4-hour double bottom. Next target is this 105 area, and then about 105.50 is my next target area. By the way, I mentioned this in the last live stream. I'm keeping a real close eye. This could be an interesting intraday trade tomorrow. This actually triggered a buy signal, and we have a gap above. And with crude rallying, I'm going to be watching for at least an intraday play in ExxonMobil. So that's potentially a little trade I'll put out there. And you also have this interesting little double bottom in here. So, which was triggered also. So we have a couple different things, couple different triggers on Exxon. And I know there's some people in here that like to play oil and some oil-related stocks. So your targets on that little double, which is already triggered 70, 80, 80, 39, and 80, 98. So that if we see some fall through the upside, that's going to be an interesting play tomorrow. Let's see. Hey, Ken. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Let me just peek at Tesla real quick because Tesla kept going. It's paused at this 863.49, then it's going through. If it continues on a rally tomorrow, again, my next target is 890, and then above 890. If it does continue, 890 is going to be pretty major. It's the 50. Declining 50, and if we have choppy option expiration, I mean, this is up huge. But above there, next major area is not till 913. So those are your upsides. For your breakdown areas for Tesla at this point, I would keep an eye. Let me update the minor pausing bar to here. Let me just see what that gives us. Yeah, see that again, 890. Reinforced another harmonic up there, so that would be a target. If it starts breaking below about 858, it could be in for at least another short-term pullback. What else? Open a put position HYG yesterday to scale in over time. Thoughts? Let's take a look at HYG. A put position in HYG. Yeah, that could be interesting over time. I mean, we just came back to the daily rotation zone. Weekly rotation zone's a little higher, so could this rally a little more? Sure. But I could, yeah, this would definitely be a potential rollover play again. Let me just see where this sits. And look at, yeah, I'd really, if we got up to even 83, that would be a gift for a potential longer term rollover. That's another key area I'd be watching. I mean, this has a lot to get through up in this area too, so that's a key area I'd be watching through. Just topping here, but remember we have the 83, and if it does keep going, you have this little clear path right here. But that's where I'd focus. This would be the breakdown zone, essentially at the 37.5% harmonic, and at that weekly. So I definitely pay attention to those levels to the upside. Jake, ADP double if you have time. ADP double, yep, that is triggered. This is a longer term one on a weekly basis. You can play it on the daily. You see how we had a little reaction confirmed here, triggered here, and now getting through the 200. So you had the 200 is placing a little blocking pattern, but a close above that. So you can actually keep a tighter stop on this one than traditional, because if you really start breaking back down, especially on a closing basis below the separating rotation zone, that's not a good sign. But that's easily, you have an advanced clear path move here. 220, 225, 230, 19. And that's also can be a weekly play up against the weekly rotation zone, but flattening out. And it's already been chipping away at that level. The more important thing for me would have been that daily 200. So yeah, if this gets a move, you're into a clear path move here too. So that could definitely be a continuation upside play. You got the probabilities in your favor. Is anything guaranteed? No, but that's definitely a high caliber play in my book. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you. I wanted to go back to take another HYG again. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you some other plays I'm watching or involved in. I just want to see where one other thing. This little harmonic right here. Yeah, look at that. That'd be my key level I'd be watching. I just forgot to put that on. Look at all this. You got tons of stuff right there. So that's definitely an area, because we could see a nice little reaction there. I don't have a problem with you also starting, because I will, again, trading around a core position, especially with this, you're in it at the flat rotation zone and this prior resistance. And then, if you got in another, you layered into a position. Now you have to plan to do that. That's not saying if it keeps going, I'm going to keep getting shorter. That's saying I'm targeting a couple key areas to get shorter. And then if it keeps rallying, I have to take a stop out. But I just wanted to point that out too. Lots of bullish options premium today on BAC. Yeah, banks rebounded again off this, but longer term, I think these are going to roll over again. Hitting that first target on a double, again, we have a reactionary rally. But remember, I watched for rollovers between the prior 42.59 and the candle bodies in here. Let me just bump down this level. There we go. So about 44, we'll just go. Yeah. I'd even give it a possibly a little more leeway, but I'm watching for another rollover play in the banks up above. Other stuff, URA, if you're not, this could be something, and I invite you to do your own research, but this has a strong fundamental bias for it, and this can be some really interesting plays in uranium. And this could roll into a very long-term play. By the way, we have this in the portfolio, which I'm easily targeting over time. This could take weeks to unfold, but upwards of 35. We had a buy signal yesterday, another buy signal yesterday, and then a strong move up today. So keeping an eye on uranium. If you want to play something more aggressive, for those more aggressive, again, not advice because I cannot do that. But another uranium play, UEC, strong move up today. This is a speculative play, but this especially from an option standpoint could be a very fun play to do your own research in. On a continued move, my next target is this gap fill and then the most recent highs, and then I'm really don't ignore 577 to move up stops or take partial profits, but we could easily see 615 out of this. That is a North American mine uranium, and we're going to have to bring on more uranium online, especially as prices go up. So keep an eye on that. Just giving you guys some food for thought so you can spend some time doing your research and coming up with some. Again, I love commodities. I love gold, silver, crude, even on pullbacks, love it. DBA, DBC, I've talked about those many times. DBA, we're still getting that pullback on the higher implied off. Like you see, do you prefer to buy calls or sell puts? Uh, selling puts is really fun on the higher implied volatility. Let me get back to UEC. I actually like to do a little of, if I'm playing it to the upside, I like to do call spreads with this kind of thing, or targeted butterflies. Like you could do a targeted butterfly up here where you're selling the calls up here and then buying the wings because you're offsetting, and especially if implied volatility comes in a bit and it runs up to this key area, that's a more advanced thing. But if I'm just doing like a call spread, then I like to offset it, buying a call, like buying the something around here and selling something higher, because then you can offset the implied volatility. Nice thing is if you sell puts with high implied volatility as well, and I don't mind if you're selling puts, because these are kind of things I wouldn't mind even taking. Just assign me the stock if it dips. Okay, so if it doesn't dip and you continue rally, you gain the premium, and if it continues to rally, especially in a slower pace, you collect it because it's high implied volatility. So you're collecting even that more of that premium on the rally and the decrease in implied volatility. And on some of these plays, I don't mind doing puts because look, you can offset a purchase cost, and even on a dip, you collect the put premium, and if you get assigned, fantastic. You actually get your cost basis is lower because you've collected the premium from the put. And long term, this is where these things are trading around a core position, so I think that's a very solid play to do in stuff like this. And it is riskier, but I don't see this going, especially with the current situation in uranium. I don't see this just disappearing overnight. There's there's a pretty substantial downside floor. So keep that in mind. I like butterflies because the sell to buy is 2-1, also big payoff to low cost. Yeah. And you can still suck out some implied volatility. Yeah. UEC calls today 63,574 versus Prots 804. Yeah. This is a fun play. I'm just letting you know. So again, don't just rush in and do something crazy. I don't think you will, Sterling, because if butterflies and everything else. But don't just go, oh, I'm going all in on some crazy calls tomorrow. No, this is you got to do some timing with options, but longer term, this is something even from a stock standpoint to keep an eye on. Yeah, the calls are juiced. That's why it could get interesting, especially with implied volatility play too. XLV triggered. And then sorry, I'm having trouble typing. Yeah, XLV did trigger on the healthcare. Thank you. I did not do my sector wrap up tonight. Again, I'm sitting here with a stupid migraine, and it's not that bad yet. But this could be a long-term play. Even on pullbacks, XLV still never triggered a bearish mode setup. So it's, even with this pullback, did not get to bearish mode and now moving back up. And you can see the double on the weekly. And why is it still tradable if the second target's in here? Because the daily, your second target's right there, right at those candles. It's missing by a couple cents, but I'm not going to be nitpicky on something like this. But really focus on this 139.23. Area to raise a stop before that, if you're just playing XLV, is about 136.83. Another stock that we've been in, Bristol Myers. Bristol Myers. There's a great little rotation pullback play. Look at this rotation zone. Once you broke out from this resistance, there was a couple little clear path areas, but rotation play, and pushing higher. My next target is this 71.82 area. So that is another thing to focus on, especially if you take a look at this one. If you want a stock to play on, and this could even be, you could do it on pullbacks with options again. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the long-term weekly chart. You know, it pushed up here, sold off, pushed up here again, sell off, based right there, and now breaking through the base. So, you know, and you got healthcare now. It is getting very oversold, so I would not be surprised to either see a pause or a pullback at some point. But that can be a reload play. Again, I can't give financial advice here, but that's something you might want to look at for a potential long-term play. And that's a long-term play as long as it remains above about this 50 EMA as 66.50 area. Let's see on the weekly. And 66, you don't want it dropping back below that 50 EME and the weekly rotation zone. So as long as this key level holds, even on a bigger pullback, it can be a longer-term play. Just wanted to throw that out for people, give them a couple ideas in these market environments of things, because I would really like that. Thank you for listing that out, Jake. Why do I like something like this? Because you have a strong stock. And thanks to Jake, did you watch my sector overview? You have a strong stock, and we have a strong sector. The sector's triggering a buy pattern, and so what do you look for? You look for strong stocks in a strong sector, and things like BMY hit that. You know, Lilly was another one we just got out of because it hit some key levels, but that's going to continue higher, and I might be looking to get back in this on a pullback because look at this pattern. Again, I'm watching. This is getting overdone too, so I'll be watching for a pullback for a potential re-entry on here. But you're breaking out from a multi-week basing pattern. If I just take off some of these lines. So that's the kind of, this is sort of a teaching thing right now, is what you want to look for in stocks. Not saying this can't drop, but this is where it probably will pull back, but you got a major base now at 270 area to about 276. So sector strong. This is strong. Look for potential longer term plays in some of these areas. All right. So those are a couple little things. Again, thank you, Sterling. Again, thank you for the super chat. You know, this is what I'm here for. I'm just trying to help people and give you some ideas. You guys give some great ideas, and you share a lot of stuff. And thank you again. Thank you for putting out the ADP double bottom, Jake. And thank you with the XLV trigger. Thank you for what you're looking at, Sterling, with the Bank of America, the HYG. I'm going to do a little more research on that also. So that's where we sit. I'm going to call it a little shorter one tonight. My eyes are getting a little blurry. With that, if you are new here and you do find benefits to this channel, we're not just a pump and dump. We do real technical analysis here. Again, it's educational purposes only because I can't give you specific trading advice, but you can get some really good ideas of things you can consider either for short-term trading or for investment portfolios. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Thank you very much, Sterling. I really appreciate everyone here too. You are wonderful members of this channel and of the Discord server, and you make this whole community fantastic. I will talk to everyone later. Again, market preview tomorrow, 8 a.m. starts the countdown timer. That's 8 a.m. Central Time. I'll talk to everyone back later. Take that back. You're not a pump and dump at all. No, I don't pump and dump anything. I would never do that. I said we're not one of those channels. I'm here to actually give people help with, here's some real technical analysis. Here's the real way to look at some markets. Here's how you analyze time frames, sectors. Here's how you come up with some potential plays. Does everything work out? No, you have to take stops at times. You have to manage your risk. But it's the tools we utilize and put forth, they do work. And nothing's 100%, but it really does help everyone. Hey, Lauren. Again, thank you for being here, guys. I will wrap it up for now. Talk to everyone later. Bye.